Hello, everybody. Welcome to another founders interview on Webiquity. Today, I'm joined by Joe Gagnon, founder and CEO at SAB Co Software. Joe and I have talked at a couple of Beta Minnesota events, so I'm excited to have him here today to share his story. Hi, Joe. Thanks for joining me. How are things going?
Good. Slow but sure. It's always exciting in the startup world, so I'd say everything's going pretty great.
Sounds good. To start off, I guess, just in a few sentences, kind of tell us what problem or problems that SAB Co Software solves, who it solves them for, which is to say, like, who's your buyer, and what makes it better than alternatives.
Yeah, so SAB Co Software, we're essentially trying to solve the problem with missed deductions and premium payment issues in the employee benefits vertical. So essentially, 1 in 4 companies that are enrolled in self-administered employee benefits, which are most all companies over 50 employees are in self-administered employee benefits, are incorrectly deducting out of their employee paychecks. So this happens because a lot of these companies that are responsible for self-administering the policies don't necessarily know how to do that correctly. So we essentially automated all of the administration burdens around employee benefit administration for self-administered companies. And what makes this better or different than the alternatives is today in the marketplace, there isn't really anyone else that's solving for this problem. So our true alternative or our number one competitor is really do nothing, which means do it internally. Today, this process, this administration burden is done in Excel within HR departments, and it's often done by someone who's not necessarily a subject matter expert in this area. So it leads to a lot of issues in the marketplace.
So when you say they're withholding incorrectly, are they more often withholding too much or too little?
So it completely depends on the company, and it really has to do with what they're deducting from their employees' paychecks. Oftentimes they are under deducting, which means that they're not deducting enough from employees' paychecks. But the problem with that is that when employees file claims, the insurance carriers will go make sure that they're being deducted correctly, and they can get claim denials from that. So we find that companies can be over or under deducting, but when they under deduct, it causes more problems for their employees.
Got it. That makes sense. And makes I think the value pretty clear. This is a bit of background, a few quick things about the company. So year founded.
We were founded in the end of 2021.
Okay. Funding rounds. Are you self-funded? Have you raised a couple of rounds?
Yeah, so we bootstrapped for about the first year. At the end of last year, we raised $25K in kind of like a friends and family pre-seed round. And in March, we kicked off a $500K raise for our seed round. So we have raised about $25K and we're in the process of raising $500.
Excellent. And current size, anything you're willing to share? I know, but not revenue, but like number of employees, number of customers. I mean, so just anything you're open to.
Yeah. So we have 5 employees today. Myself, my co-founder, DeAndre Mason. We have our CFO, Nick Devine, the CMO, Jefferson Mason, and then another marketing specialist, Nick Noble. We have a paid pilot going with Christensen Group, which is a top 100 broker, and a few companies within their block of business. And we're just working on our product market fit, but we're in that post-revenue, post-product deployment area.
Excellent. So what kind of inspired you to work on this particular area, this particular problem?
Yeah, so about 4 or 5 years ago, I used to work at a carrier. I actually started on the first day as my co-founder, and we were tasked with auditing employee benefits, self-administered employee benefit groups, premium payments to see if there were any issues going on. We ended up designing and building a variance database for this carrier, and we're able to collect over $5 million in underpayments in about 90 days. So I realized that this was a huge market problem, and it was really affecting a massive amount of groups without them really knowing it. So that's when I got really interested in the problem. And then from there, I became a full stack developer at SPS Commerce, and then built a solution for the companies versus the brokers. That's what I had built one for in the past. I mean, the carriers is what I had built for in the past.
Great. So
yeah.
you sort of had an inside view of it, saw the magnitude of the problem, and figured there was a business here.
Yep. Yeah. I saw the problem from a carrier perspective and really figured that the best way to solve the problem is actually at the company side of things. So the business around that.
Makes a lot of sense. What have been, or what were sort of the most effective channels or methods from a marketing standpoint for you to get the word out to prospective customers when you first launched the software?
I'd say the most beneficial have been warm referrals or word of mouth, kind of like organic growth. Just when we're looking for early adopters, getting those warm referrals and getting those early conversations seem to be the biggest hurdle, especially when you don't have a strong reputation or the like as of yet. So I'd say warm referrals, and then that was closely followed by email campaigns that are targeted around customer interviews. So just trying to have conversations with your end clients. Over time, that will inevitably lead the early adopters to becoming your client if you're solving a problem that they're generally having. So I think those are the number one, number two most beneficial growth methods for us early.
Excellent. Have you done anything in like SEO, content marketing, online ads, any of those channels?
We haven't done any paid marketing yet. We have some like SEO things, set up from our marketing guys who handle a lot of that, but we haven't done any paid, really make sure that we have a strong product market fit in place before we start throwing a lot of money in marketing, I think. So.
Definitely makes sense. So now you're a year and a half, couple years into it. If you would finish the sentence, knowing what I know now, if I were starting over today, what I would do differently is
start founding sales immediately. I, learned over the course of the first 18 months that the most important thing for for any startup is traction. When people say traction, they mean revenue generating activities. So I think the sooner as a founder you get to selling and really get customer interface, customer conversations happening, the faster you'll find product market fit and the faster you'll find that traction you need to raise and grow, move forward.
excellent. What's the most important advice you could offer to an entrepreneur just starting out today?
I think besides revenue generating activities should be your number one focus for at least the first couple of years. I think the other most important thing is to build a strong team around you. I think that being a solopreneur or trying to go it alone, especially as a first-time founder, is very hard. And the more people you have sharing your vision and like moving in the same direction, the faster it is. And I would also say the easier it is. It's hard as a founder to be optimistic and pushing, uphill all the time. And the better team you have, the earlier and the stronger your team is, I think the better things will go for you.
That's one I've heard quite a bit. So that's all I've got for questions. Thanks, Joe. Great discussion. Actually, one final question, which is how can people connect with you and learn more about SAB Co software?
Yeah, they can check out our website, which is sabcosoftware.com, or they can reach out to me directly at joseph.gagnon@sabcosoftware.com.
Excellent. Thanks. Thanks again, Joe. This has been great. And have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.